Hello and welcome back to the fourth episode of the Lean Talks. This is your friend, the Lean Programmer, and today I'm very excited about the topic because it's one of my favorite topics, blogging. And we'll be sharing with you some tips on on the fundamentals of blogging and how can you be a top blogger. And just as always, if you guys can hear me clearly, just put in a yes on the chat section, just a simple YES. That should be fine. Great. So you guys are able to hear me, and that's awesome. So again, before we start, I have something very amazing to tell you that today we have a very special guest, Sinem. So let me tell you about her. She is one of my inspiration from past 1.5 years when I was a beginner in blogging. She's an entrepreneur, she's a coach, she's a writer, and most amazing thing, she has been a top writer in so many fields in Medium. Top writer in reading, education, ideas, mental health, business health, self improvement, productivity, psychology, life lessons, and I just can't tell how amazing she is, and I'm very glad to have her here. So she is here for next 10 to 15 minutes, and she will be answering every question which you have regarding to blogging. So feel free to just keep hitting me with your questions on the chat section. And again, welcome, Sinem. I'm super glad to have you here, and it's really an honor for me to interact with you. Thanks a lot, Sinem.
Thank you so much for inviting. It's also super
So
precious
yes,
for me.
maybe we can start off with you. You can maybe tell some of your experiences in blogging till the time people are typing their questions, because in StreamYard we are 5 to 10 seconds ahead of the people. So like whatever we are speaking now, it'll reach the audience after 5 seconds. So till the time they're typing their questions, you can just keep on. So yes, guys, please do ask anything like you have regarding blogging. She is one of the best person in blogging. So yes.
Yeah, so you already introduced me. I started blogging exactly 2 years ago, actually. So I came across Medium, and back then I've already been an entrepreneur. So I've been into personal development, and I've been hosting a lot of workshops for students here in my country, in Austria. And then I came across Medium, and I just wanted to write everything that I've been talking about in my workshops. So I started 2 years ago, and I failed for more than a year. Like, I didn't know how to write articles that people actually want to read. So I failed for a year, and now I have almost 400,000 views on my articles per month, which is crazy. And this is, for me, this is such a blessing. And this is possible for all of you guys. So I started from zero. I had no idea about writing and blogging. So it's possible for anyone if you just take the time, if you are patient, and if you stay consistent and write a lot, and if you care about delivering value to your readers. And there are actually 3 points I
I
want to.
totally agree with this, and it's applicable in every field. Like if you are consistent, you can be a master of anything. So now the people have started asking questions. So I guess Rupa asked why only Medium. Like you have already answered it. So let's go to the next question, which is Kanika asked me like, other than Medium, what are the other platforms for blogging and actually scaling up?
There are other platforms. For example, Vocal is a new one, which is similar to Medium, and they also pay their writers. But Medium is the most established one. So they got a lot of investments. They grew their platform to millions of readers. You can always choose to do other platforms. You can also start your own blog. But in that case, you will have to take care of marketing, and you will have to find ways how people can actually find your blogs. On Medium, You just have to focus on the writing. But on most other platforms, and if you set up your own blog, you will have to take care of marketing as well.
Yes, exactly. So Medium has this one very good advantage, that benefit, that it has a lot of publications attached to it, and once we submit to the publications, our reach increases exponentially. So yes, let's move on to the next question. Okay, Abhijit asked me, like, I want to write a technical blog about a concept. How can I make it more unique and interesting? That's a good question.
Well, it's very broad, so I don't know what precisely you will write about. But if you like, the main thing is focus on the reader. How can they apply what you teach them? How can they apply that in their day-to-day life, like work life? If you focus on delivering value to the reader in terms of how they can really turn this, what you teach, in and apply it in their real life, this is when it becomes really interesting, because everybody can write about concepts, but not everybody can turn these concepts into applicable knowledge. So if you can make this, it becomes unique and interesting to the reader.
Yes, exactly. And let's go to the next question. So Rupa asked again that what is that one prerequisite or the must required thing or the must needed skill for blogging? I don't think there is any. Like, I don't know if everyone agrees with me, but I don't think there's any prerequisite as such. But yeah, let's hear your views.
It depends, but there are actually three essential things you need to take care of if you really want to scale as a blogger. One is you need to learn how to write good headlines. If your headline is not good, nobody will click on the article, because everybody sees the preview and they decide if they click based on the headline. So this is like, of course, your whole text needs to be good, but if the headline is not good, nobody will open the post and you don't have an opportunity to show your work. So this is the first step. If this is not on point, you cannot show your work to people because they don't open the post. And then once they open it, you need to structure your posts in a good way. Because if I open your post and I just see a lot of text, most people don't want to read this. Most people want good structured text. They want subtitles. They want images. They want, they want a good structure so that they can scan through the text even if they don't have too much time. So these are the two essential things you need to understand, like no matter what you're writing about. So headlines and the structure, these two things define if people will actually read your work or not. I guess you are still muted. I don't hear you right now.
I am so sorry, my mic was muted. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I just wanted to tell that basically we are going to discuss all these things today as well. Whatever Sinem told, that structuring the content and writing how to structure content is a in a visually appealing way. So yeah, after this AMA session, I'll be discussing all those things again. But yes, so the next question is basically asked by Vipin, that can we earn through blogging? And I think Sinem, I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, but in India, in Medium has this limitation for Indian bloggers that we can't earn through Medium because Stripe is still not it's still in preview mode in India, so we can't earn through Medium. But yes, if you have like for how can we earn money through blogging? Let's shift this question to some maybe like how can you earn through your personal blog and not Medium, since Medium is earning through Medium is not an option in India right now.
The thing is, like, I know that Stripe doesn't operate in India, but there are some ways how you can still enter the partner program. There are actually a few blog posts that explain in depth how you can do that. So maybe we can link to those later if the audience is interested. But overall, you can always, like, if you have an audience that is interested, you can earn money through blogging in many ways. Like, you can build your email list. And once you have your email list and people who are like opening and reading your emails, you can do many things. You can do affiliate marketing, so you can promote the products and services of other people, or you can create your own products. So if you really love writing, this could, for example, be a book, or it can be an online course, or it can be whatever your niche is and what you are teaching. You can create products. If you really have your own blog and if you have a lot of readers, you can, of course, also have ads and then earn through Google Ads. So there are a lot of opportunities. So once you have an audience and once you have people who really want to read what you write, there are many, many ways to monetize your writing.
Exactly, and there are a lot of blogs out there on Medium. Like, how can you convert your passion into your profession on like writing on Medium or starting up a blog post? Maybe after this webinar, I can put all those links in the comment section. Yes, next let's move on to the next question. So Akansha just asked, what was your inspiration towards becoming an entrepreneur over joining any company? I've been following you great closely, and this question had been popping up my mind often.
I've actually been lucky because I came across entrepreneurship so when I was studying at university, I joined a few entrepreneurship events, and then I had friends who also wanted to do similar things. And then I just started I really started with hosting workshops for students, and we did that for free for a long time. And then I just knew that I wanted to do my own thing. So before I realized there is this thing called entrepreneurship, I always wanted to work in a huge corporate company. But then I realized there is so much I can learn on my own if I start and grow a business on my own. And then I started my own business besides my studies. So it was a side project back then. And then I did an internship at a big company for 6 months. And I realized most people don't love what they're doing there. They have been really inefficient. They didn't care about the success of the company, basically. And it was one of the biggest companies in our country. And I just realized I don't want to be like that. So I don't want to, be so lazy and don't love what I do. And I've been lucky because I already had my own business and I did it besides studying and besides that entrepreneurship stuff. So when my internship was over, I just decided to fully focus on being an entrepreneur.
That was great. Even I believe that whatever we do, we should at least love doing it. Otherwise, we can't do justice to the work. So yeah. Moving on to the next question. Just let me know, Sinem, if do you still have 5 more minutes to stay
Yeah,
with
yeah.
us?
Let's go through some more questions. All fine.
Great. Okay. So let me ask another question. Uh, okay, this question is a little bit weird, but like it might be in just if you want to answer it's your wish. I mean, how much did you make through blogging approximately? Like how much money did you earn? It's your choice on answering it.
Like in July, for example, like last month, I made $10,000 just from the Medium Partner Program. So Medium pays really well if you establish your audience and if you have if you really stay consistent in your blogging. And I'm trying to write every day. So in July, I wrote 20 pieces, but this was my lowest. So for the past 6 months, I always wrote more than 20 pieces every month. And this is just what I make through Medium. And then, of course, my Medium readers are in my email list, so I can sell them courses, additional products, additional coaching services, etc. So this is one opportunity how to make money. And so Medium. And for me, it is paying off really well right now.
That was great. So yes, this must be a good motivation for people to start blogging. And let's take two more questions. Okay, so it's an interesting question: how to get more views for the blogs? And I am a beginner in writing blogs till now. Like, how can we improve? General tips on how can we improve, and why would why would people view our blogs more?
Um, Depending on where your blog is, so it's definitely harder to get views if you host your own website, because in that case you need to look for the readers outside of your website. So you need to look for some external platforms, for example. It doesn't matter if it's Pinterest or any other social network where you have to look for readers. But essentially, it's always the same. Where are the readers that are interested in your topics? Technical stories, for example. There is a lot of, like, a big audience on Medium for tech-related stuff. So that might be a platform for you to join. Even if you don't join the partner program, you can get the readers and reach the readers on the platform. And then, as we talked, and as you will also explain later on, it's all about, creating content that is well structured and that is dedicated to improving the reader's life, no matter what you write about, no matter if it's self-improvement, like in my case, or if it's technical stuff. It's always, how can I deliver the most value to the reader? How can they take this piece of information and really apply it in their day-to-day lives, no matter if it's, mental health, personal development, or if it's a technical stuff that they need for their jobs. And this has a lot to do, again, with headlines, with structure, and how do you present the ideas. And I guess you will also explain some more details later in this live stream. So I guess there will be a few more tips on how to do that later on.
Yes, and again, and you can even go to Sinem's website. I just did that a few weeks ago, and she provides, once you subscribe to a mailing list, she provides some 5 days content strategy and some tips each day on your mail directly. Maybe Sinem, we can put that in the comments afterwards. You can just DM me the link again, and I'll put it again. And so yes, that was pretty amazing. And again, I would definitely be going through all these things once more. So let's take the last question for today. So again, Hari Sapna asked that how to become a writer in publication. I think that's very simple. You can just choose your publication and go through their submission details. So let's go to the next question. What books do you recommend for getting better at story writing? Let's change it to, instead of books, let's change it to any resources. What resources do you recommend for getting better at story writing or an idea or a concept?
It depends on your niche. Honestly, the best thing you can do is have a few idols, no matter in what niche you're writing. There are probably people who already have a big audience and who have created hundreds of blog posts. Have an idol and try to study them in depth. Like, before I started writing every day on Medium, I read hundreds of blog posts from the top writers in my topics, in my niche. And by reading their stuff, you realize that some things repeat themselves over and over again. So they always use same structures for their blog posts. They use the same words because people like certain structures. So most books about writing are hard to implement for yourself if you're writing in a particular niche. You can learn a lot from writing related books, but you can learn much more if you read the articles of people who are writing in that particular niche. Again, on Medium, for example, you have hundreds of good writers who write in different topics and niches. So find people who already have big audiences, find people who are similar to the style that you want to write in, and then read their articles. Like, read them every day, and you will get a feeling for what they do and how they write. And that makes it so easy to adapt these ideas, concepts, and the type of writing for your own ideas as well. And you should never copy someone, but it makes sense to take what has already worked for someone else and adapt it for your own content.
Yes, that's definitely true. So I'm also going to share some more tips on how can you be better at writing concepts and how can you get more ideas today. And so yes, Sinem must be. So basically, she had some other commitments now, so that's why she joined us only for 15 minutes. And I was very grateful that you joined here, Sinem. So just before going, do you have any tips or any suggestions for our viewers today on maybe how can they get started, or maybe how can they improve? And like you have already shared the normal things like making a compelling blog post, on making a good structured content, and having a sort of a good title which attracts the audience. But apart from that, anything else if you want to share from your experience or your journey?
It makes sense if you really like, for example, if you want to start on Medium, there are lots of communities that will support each other. So I do have a Facebook group, for example. If you think about starting on Medium, you can join us. So it's called Medium Writing Academy on Facebook, but you can also message me later on and I can send you the link. And it's always more fun, to have a few people whom support each other on that journey. And other than that, actually the most important thing is to get started at all. So most people have this idea of getting started of writing, but they have the idea for many months and they never put it out there. But honestly, probably nobody will read your first blog post, and maybe also not your 10th blog post, but you will get better over time. And it's also what I did. Like, nobody was interested in what I wrote 2 years ago, and now thousands of people are reading it. You can only become better if you start, and you need to start from zero. It doesn't matter if nobody reads your first posts. You will have to write hundreds of posts to become really great and build an audience that loves you. And the first and most important step is to actually publish your very first post at all, no matter if it's on Medium or on any other platform.
Yes, that was super important. And I mean, I just got one very interesting question. Like, I know I just said that that's going to be the last question. I'm really sorry for that, but this is something really interesting. Can you differentiate between following someone and copying someone?
Yeah, you definitely can, because copying someone means taking their ideas and writing it as if it was yours, or copying one-on-one their structure, their introduction and stuff like that. But following, or it is called modeling actually, means that you look at what worked for other people, and you can look at different people. You can have 5 or 10 writing idols, and then if you read a lot of their blog posts, your writing will somehow also be similar to theirs, because that's what obviously works. And in that case, you don't copy their ideas. You come up with your own ideas, you write your own stuff, but you can look at what structure works for them, what images do they take, and don't take the same, but take something that is similar. So if you will realize, for example, that you need to write your headlines in a certain way, and you will never take the exact same headline, but you can take it and apply it for your content. And this works in many ways. So it's a thin line, but you will get used to it. And the more you read and the more you write, the more you will get a feeling for that. But it's definitely a difference between getting inspiration and just sticking with what works, because all the big writers do it all the time. There are a few structures, headlines that work, and everybody is applying them. All the big writers copy each other anyway, because they do what works over and over. So you can do that as well.
That was super helpful, Sinem. Thank you so much for coming here. And uh, again, once again, I urge all the people who are viewing this video right now, you can just go to medium and follow Sinem if you don't already do. Like, genuinely, I look forward each day whenever I get the notification on my phone, and I get every, sometimes it is two times a day, sometimes it is once in 2 days. But whenever I get that notification that Sinem published a blog, I definitely check it out. So yeah, you guys can just go to medium and follow her. And thanks a lot, Sinem, for your time. And
Thank
it
you
was
very
very
much.
good talking to you.
Shall I put the link to the subscription page in the chat here? Can you see that then?
I'm sorry, Sinem, I wasn't able to hear you. Can you repeat once again?
I copy pasted the link to my landing page in the private chat section. I don't know. Can you see that now? And can you post it for everybody if somebody wants to sign up?
Yeah, I think posting links is not allowed on you. It's against YouTube's.
Ah,
I think we're not able to post links rightly, but maybe you can just send me on Instagram and I'll post it, and I'll remove the dot right from there, and even in the description I'll write it down. So
okay.
yes, you can just give me on Instagram and I'll do it right away.
Okay. All right. And if anybody has other questions or if you just want to reach out, feel free to either, join my Facebook group. There are lots of positive, uplifting writers there. And otherwise, also feel free to reach out. You can find my email on my website or also on Instagram, Facebook. I will see most of your messages and try to reply as quickly as I can.
Thanks a lot, Sinem, for joining. And I'm sure everyone is going to join Medium Writing Academy. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.
So, guys, it was really amazing talking to Sinem, and trust me, she was my inspiration when I was just a beginner. And now the real content starts on how can you be. Again, we'll be having an AMA, and I'll be keeping. You can just share. Abhishek just asked share the username. You can just see it on. You can just type Sinem Gunel, say Sinem Gunel on Google, and you'll find the links to each of her profile, just like you can find to mine. You can type Madhav Behl as well. But yes, okay, so you can just search it on Google and get it. But yes, again, I'll also share her Medium profile. Just give me 1 minute, and then we'll start off with today's uh, today's content. So I have posted it. So yeah, I think only the organizer is allowed to share the links. So that's why her link was not appearing in the uh, yeah. But I guess, yeah, now maybe we can just move on. So this was definitely great. And yes, so now starts the now starts the main content for today. It's going to be long discussion, and I am today, I have said it, I have made my setup a little different. On my, like, just just in front of my eyes is the questions you guys are asking. And so I'm viewing each and every question, so you can feel free to ask me anything in between. So last time I saw that like we extended the session to 1.5 hours instead of 1 hour, and that was too much, right? And even you might get bored. So that's why, to stay in time, instead of having a separate AMA after that session, we can have it alongside. You can just chat, and it's going to be a long discussion today. So the first thing is, I'm going to share my journey from non-blogger to top blogger. Yes, I am top blogger in one domain, and Sinem was a top blogger in right now 17 domains. 15 is was her last uh, when she I think she updated the profile, and now she's in 17 domains. That's truly amazing. So yeah, you can be like me first and then Sinem next if you are into blogging. But yes, keep asking me questions, keep interacting with me. We'll be keeping this session till 7 o'clock today, and I'm really excited to tell you some of the things, like so first thing, I'll be telling you my journey from non-blogger to top blogger. Then five reasons you should start writing now. Then, even if the people who are seeing this video right now, or the people who will see the recorded session, like, you all should definitely, no matter what profession you are in, let's say it's it's engineering, or let's say it's law or anything, like trust me, you should be writing. And then 5 steps to write a successful blog, it will include all the things which she was saying, and how to write, how to find a compelling structure, how to write a compelling blog post, and so on. And then 5 unspoken rules of top bloggers, and you can find it. So yes, this unspoken rules, I haven't found it from internet or something, I have just noticed it. So I've been following a lot of people since last 1 year, and I've been seeing that I could find these particular qualities in their content. So yes, I'm going to share with you guys all those things. And then at the end of the day, we'll be discussing the 5 things without which you are going to probably fail. Like even if you just write the blog post and don't do these, at least these 5 things, probably you won't be a top blogger. So yes, I'm super excited for this session. And yes, initially there was some technical issue. You might be guessing, why did I go on mute? So there was some technical issue. Basically what happened was my voice was reverberating, so when she spoke I had to go on mute, and when I spoke she had to go on mute. That's why we were not able to hear each other properly. So yes, but yes, now since only I'm here, so yes, now I won't go on mute. So yeah, just let me know how excited you guys are. I am super excited. Great, so let's get started. So what did we discuss last time? Last time was our webinar was based on how to deal with procrastination. If you guys have not seen that video, you guys can just check it out on my YouTube channel. It's super exciting, and it's super knowledge, full of knowledge. So yes, do check it out. How 12 techniques to kill procrastination. So yes, let's get started. Without a doubt, my journey from a non-blogger to a top blogger. Basically, the date was, I guess, 14th January. I don't remember exactly. It was 14th January 2018, 2 years, 2.5 years ago. So, 14th January 2018. And I just wrote my first blog. Like before that, I was thinking like I should start blogging. A lot of people were, yes, exactly. Srinivas just asked me that if we are not confident about our grammar, how can we cope up with writing good blogs? Grammar does not really matter, and I mean, trust me, uh, it will increase slowly as you read more blogs and as you come up with it. So some tips I'm going to give you today, like how can you structure your blog post, and how what all things can you do. So all those, you can follow those tips as well. And again, even if you're not good in grammar, you can start writing. Like just make sure that there's not too many grammatical mistakes. But yes, trust me, in every blog that I publish there are grammatical errors. And uh, for that, basically what I do is, I think my net connection is slow or something, but yeah, it's fine now, I think. Okay, so yeah, basically what I do is, whenever I write any blog, before publishing it, I proofread it at least one time or at least 2 times. So once we proofread, we get to know that whether there are any grammatical errors or not. But if you're not confident about your grammar, you can do one thing. You can find that one particular friend. Everyone has a lot of friends, right? So you can find that one particular friend who is good at English, and you can just share your draft with him before publishing, and just tell him or her that just find out if there are any grammatical errors. And yes, don't limit yourself, don't limit your potential based on your confidence on your grammar. It's not about the language, it's about the content. So trust me, being not confident about the grammar, it shouldn't be the deciding factor of your growth. It will improve gradually. Keep reading, read more than you write. That way you'll be able to improve. And yes, one simple way to counter your issue with grammar, it can be that you can just make a friend of yours proofread your blog before you publish it, and that should be fine. So yes, let me share my journey of being a non-blogger to a top blogger. So yes, the date was 14th January. Please don't mind if the date was actually somewhere around it, but yeah, it was around 14th January. And basically, I was very conscious whether I should whether I should publish the blog or not, whether people will like it or not like it. I was having second thoughts, so many thoughts. It took me 2 days to write that particular blog. What happened was, there was one senior, I think senior or a friend, yeah, so someone was there who was telling me the advantages of blogging and so on. Blogging has a lot of advantages no matter what domain you are in. So I just said that, okay, let's give it a shot. And what happened, I just hit that publish button, and 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 on my first blog I got this message: "Hi, I came across your blog and I would like to add it to Codeburst." It was that time Codeburst had 25,000 followers. Now uh, it has millions of followers, I guess. So this was something very, very encouraging for me. And so that was my first blog. And let me share it with you guys. Um, just a second. Just give me a second. Medium.com/madhavbahal10. Medium.com/madhavbahal10. Yes, that was the blog. A practical roadmap to web development. I got 4.3 thousand claps on that, and that was really something amazing. It was something which really motivated me, and uh, so that was really, really amazing, and it would be a great feeling. So Medium has a great community behind it. So you can just start off, like, about how to start off. Just go to Medium and start writing. So yes, so at that said that when I saw your blog few months back, I took the initiative and wrote two articles. One reached 700 views, and one reached, that's amazing. At that, I'm proud of you. And Rupa just asked me that how to find out which topic we can write. How to find out the topics? Yes, I'm going to tell you. It's in the next section. How to choose subject? Yes, again, Rucha, I'm going to tell you that. It's in the next section. So yes, these are the things which I'm going to discuss with you today. So that was my story. Like, that was how I wrote the first blog post, and then I wrote the second blog post. It again went amazing, and I thought that, am I a good writer or I'm not? So then I wrote the third article. The third did not do as much good as the first one did. So Hemant just asked me that how many days it took to write your first blog. Around 2 days. It took me around 2 days to write the first blog post. But yeah, it was more of that. I needed more courage to hit that publish button instead of more than writing that blog itself. So yes, after that, basically I kept on writing. On an average, my frequency is one blog per weekend. So in a month, I generally release 3 to 4 blogs, and I try to add them in publications, right? JavaScript in plain English, or maybe Code Burst, Hacker Noon, Free Code Camp, and so on. So by adding to these publications, I saw that I could increase. So as always, my journey, I never did any particular sort of paid course on something or something, so to learn something. So most of my journey has been on exploring things, like even in the LinkedIn. Like, I started being active on LinkedIn in my second year, and it took me an year to find out what it takes to build a profile that actually attracts more people. And same was the case in Medium. I experimented a lot. Right now I'm a writer at more than 10 publications, and so it took me some time. But as Sinem told, that it comes with experiments. Like, so yes, we are going to talk that today. And recently, so one thing I found was, whenever I add one particular, it was by luck that I was basically writing more about productivity, and people were writing a lot about productivity, and people were liking my blog post about productivity. And as you might have also known in the last session of Lean Talks, people just loved what all things which I shared, which was related to productivity. And then I got this amazing news that I was a top writer in productivity. So that's what worked for me. And then I took some more, I explored more, and that's how I learned a lot of things. And all those things I'm going to share with you guys today. So yes, I have a lot of questions. How do we get chosen in publications? I tried a lot of publication but never selected. Try to follow their rules very specifically. Like, every publication have, just go on and onto a publication and write this one thing, like, it should be something like, just search submit or publish or something like that, and you will get the rules of submission. So every publication have their own submission rules. Just follow them and you will be able to. It's not that difficult, trust me. Do writers articles on Medium are monetized in India? No, they are not. But yes, there's one way. You can have, if you have a relative living in US or any other country which is in which Stripe is supported, you can have their account linked to your Medium blog, and uh, you'll get the payment in their account. So yeah, in so I don't get paid for my articles, and I don't want to, because I write articles just for fun and just for increasing the knowledge of my viewers. So yes, there's a difference. If you want to make it as a profession, right now in mid India, the only way is to have a relative in a country where Stripe is supported. Is there a length, any limited length limit? I'm going to discuss about that in the next section. From where can we add? I'm going to discuss about that in the next section as well. But yeah, one simple source is Unsplash. So just go to unsplash.com. I'll mention the link here. Unsplash. And you can just go to Unsplash, and you can get the images. You'll have to add the credits to who clicked that image. But I generally take in my blog post, I take images from two places. One is Unsplash and one is Giphy, and one more Canva picture. So I have this premium account in Canva, so take it from there as well sometimes. So yeah, is from where can we add? Okay, being a writer in or article. So the good answer is basically, at start you can, during this initial phase you can be a writer at many publications, and after that, once you get your own audience, you can choose to not publish. So as you might have seen in my case, so earlier all of my blog posts were in a particular in many different publications like JSN, JSIPE, or Free Code Camp, Hacker Rank, and so on. But now I write my technical. After sometimes you can choose which particular publication works the best for you. For me, it was Codeburst, so I generally prefer writing my blogs into Codeburst. So yeah, for the starting, you can try as many publications as you want, and then you can choose one out of them. So yes, the second thing is 5 reasons that you should write. The first reason is, again, you can't always speak, right? Even if you just keep on speaking, it's a good thing to speak. Like you can just release your podcast, you can make YouTube videos. But the thing is, if you guys make YouTube videos, it generally takes a lot more time than writing a blog. Writing a blog genuinely takes very less time. Like if you want to write 1,000 words, after you are a skilled writer, like let's say my example, it just takes me 1 to 2 hours to write a 1,000 words blog. So yes, after you are skilled enough, it's just a matter of 1 to 2 hours, right? So it's better to write a blog, and of course you have to find out what works best for you. The second thing is, share your experiences. Others will learn from them. So that was the point which motivated me. My first blog post was on web development. So as you guys know that in starting I was exploring web development, and I was mentoring a few juniors as well. So what happened was, I just wanted to share my knowledge with them, and so I just wrote a sort of roadmap on what all things you can do for to get better in web development, and what roadmap should you follow. Then third is credibility, trust, and brand. Trust me, again, the thing comes here that no matter what domain you are in, you can just start writing, and you'll see that people will start following you if you publish good content. If you publish content which they are able to follow, and it genuinely adds value to people's life, people will start having trust in you. You'll build your own credibility, and you will build your own brand. Fourth thing is opportunities. So like, let me tell you honestly, like, I'm not exaggerating here. It this was the exact thing which happened with me. Basically, when I started writing one particular blog, roadmap to web development, my first blog, just after 3 or 4 weeks, I started getting messages on LinkedIn like, we want to hire you as web developer in our company. Are you available for it? So yes, that's the impact which blogs make. So it will, once you have your credibility, trust, and brand established, you will get a lot of opportunities. And apart from these, I was motivated by a couple of more points. Like, first one was the importance of English as a global language. Just like a person asked before as well, that if my grammar is, if I'm not comfortable with my grammar, how should I deal with it? So that was the same case with me. Trust me, my grammar used to suck, and I wasn't confident at all in my own English language. So, but I knew that. So that does not matter. Many people might contradict this, but yeah, the fact is that at least I believe that English holds a lot of importance in today's world. So I just wanted to improve my English while writing. So yes, that was don't laugh at it, but yes, that was one of the points which motivated me to write blogs. And then think and write faster with more experience. One more thing which motivated me was, basically, I just wanted to write fast, and so that those days basically exams were coming, and I just wanted to write better answers in my exam. So I just wanted, let's say, let's practice. So I just found out that in each exam I was giving, I would just uh, so it happened a lot of times with me that I wasn't able to finish off each question. Like, I one or two question will always remain, and I wasn't able to answer that because of lack of time. So I just wanted to write, increase my thinking and writing agility and speed. So yes, now let's get started to the successful content strategy. So yes, today I'm going to discuss. So from here, trust me, guys, I think I bored a lot in the previous section, but yes, in this section, this the real content starts. So I'm going to discuss the five steps on which through which you can produce a successful blog and a successful content. So the first one will be the reader strategy. Second one, content strategy. Third one, structuring the content, frequency and length. As a few people also asked that what should be the frequency and what should be the length, and then dealing with criticism. So the first thing is, again, before writing anything. So let's go it in the way of any blog post. So before writing, we have to think about what we are writing, right? We have to think of a compelling title for that blog post, and then we have to write the content. So yes, I'm going to go in the order of those steps. How can you think a good title, then how can you structure your content, how can you think of what to write on, and then what should be the length of your blog post. And once you have done with that, what should be the frequency of your post, like how much often should you publish, how much often should you post on social media or medium. And then fifth thing is, once you have posted, of course you are going to get criticism. That's the rule of our society, right? Some people criticize for your betterment, some people criticize because they are jealous. But then again, we are going to see how to deal with both of them. So the first thing is, before starting any just trust me, before starting any blog post, think about these 6 points. Like, why should, like, if you just came across your own blog post, would you read it? It's highly likely that you might not read it, or would you read it? So yeah, first thing to keep in mind is, try to be the reader. Like, how can you add value to the reader's life? How can you be, maybe the blog can be educational, the blog can be informative, the blog should be compelling, or maybe the blog challenges the reader to do something. Or maybe the blog is funny, and it's just funny so that people can actually stay engaged with the content. Now comes the point, how to think of a particular title. So yes, I'm going to discuss about that. So it comes in content strategy. So just keep in mind, ask yourself these questions before deciding, before finalizing what you are going to write on. So yes, it's all about finalizing what you're going to write on, right? So once you have that finalized, you can move on to the title. So before finalizing what you are going to write, just keep asking yourself these questions. First, how can I help my readers? Maybe, did I learn something today? One very simple example can be, maybe let's say I learned some concepts of React Native, and I can write a blog which from which other people can learn from what I learned. Maybe ask yourself, are you an expert at something? Am I an expert at something? If yes, I can share the tips for that particular thing to my readers. Can I help them put away their worries or in any manner? Can I make my readers more skilled? Can I teach them something? What value can I add through my content? So the best first thing, this particular question which you should be very very clear with is, what value can you add to your readers lives through your content? So now some of the content, like how to think of a title, right? So maybe first of all, think about the content type. It can be sharing your knowledge, maybe a practical roadmap to web development. So that was the first blog I wrote, and it reached a lot of people. I guess it reached more than 1 lakh people, and I received more than 4.3 thousand claps on it. Or maybe just share your journey. Let's say you can just post on LinkedIn that today this happened to me, or maybe today that happened to me, or I completed this course, or I did something. So yes, share your journey, and that was one of my successful contents. Something new, like something fresh and something timely, like let's say share about the things which are going on around you right now. Let's say the new education policy which came, the national education policy 2020, I shared about that, and it reached 60,000, around 60,000 peoples. So yeah, be creative, and or maybe share a story. So these are the content types. First of all, think about what type of content are you going to share. It can be, there are many type of content. It can be some to do blog, maybe how to, some tutorial kind of blog, how to do this, how to like let's say an example can be how to be more productive, or maybe 10 ways to be productive this weekend, or maybe something like this. So that will be the tutorial blog. Other can be some knowledge, sharing knowledge, like let's say uh, a roadmap for web development, or maybe how to simple things, like how to deploy your website. One of my blogs was how to deploy your React app within 2 minutes, and that's very simple. So I just shared my knowledge, and it reached a lot of people. So first, the second kind was also sharing your knowledge. Third was sharing your journey. Fifth is like there are many types. Fifth one can be sharing the news, telling your own your opinion on what's happening in the world right now. Or the best thing is sharing a story, telling your content in the form of story. So yes, be creative, engage with audience, and bring a fresh perspective or a fresh view to the content. So yes, that's how you can create a compelling title. So again, uh, be creative, a practical roadmap to web development, or maybe this story changed the way I used to look at critics. So that's very compelling, right? Anyone who come across it, that this story changed the way I looked at criticism, so they will be compelled, I mean they will be uh, enthusiastic to read about this, because criticism is something which we all deal with daily. And they will also be enthusiastic to know what's that story that changed the perspective. So yes, be creative with the content, and try to find out what kind of titles do people create. Now once you are finalized with your title, now come to the content structure. Structuring the content is very very important. Once the reader has the attention on your blog, so let's say I just posted about my blog on the blog Medium or LinkedIn or anywhere, and it was looking very good from the title. So a person just opened the blog and started reading. But if the structure, so let's just imagine if the whole blog was just one paragraph of let's say 10,000 words, would it would be so boring to read, right? So here are some tips for the content strategy. So first one would be easy to read. It should be easy to read. How can it be easy to read? Try to include some not high level English maybe. That's not something good to say, but then again, try to find your audience. Like let's say if they are students, try to interact with them in their language, or in the way they speak. If your audience is sort of bloggers, then try to focus more on writing, on focusing more on the well structured content, and so on. Then proper spaces, this is very very important. Let's say this particular content itself finally something positive in 2020. So there are proper spaces. The more the spaces are there, let's just imagine that all of this content finally something positive in 2020 to the new policy, everything was just written in one paragraph, no one would read it. But when we write in these type of things, like in points, or we include the spaces and so on, we make it more readable, good looking, make it more good looking, and try to have a little bit of emojis and so on. uh, Try to have list helps a lot. One very simple example can be, these type of blogs are very, they genuinely perform very good. So an example would be 10 ways you can be more productive, or maybe 10 ways to kill your to kill your procrastination, something like this. You're the point based things, right? So yeah, just give me a second. I was looking at the questions. I'll move back to the questions after I'm finished with this. So headings and subheadings, try to add a sort of headings and subheadings to your blog. Let me show you an example. So let's take let me open one thing. Maybe let's open this one, 10 pieces of advice for Generation Z and young adults. So I try to add proper points, like this is the advice number 5, this is the advice number 6, this is the advice number 7. And let's see another one of another example. This particular thing, handling criticism, this story changed the way I looked at the critics. So in this one I try to have like as structured as possible. Try to have lists, and these things really help because it makes more readable. The person who is reading your blog will find it more easy and more attracted towards the blog. And then again, little use of emojis on LinkedIn, it works. I don't prefer using emojis on Medium. Generally we should avoid it, but yes, you can use it. Focus on the topic clearly, don't deviate too much from the topic. Otherwise the people who are reading your blog will lose trust in your blog. So let's say if your topic is, if the title said that 10 ways you can increase your productivity, so make sure you're only talking about those 10 ways and not too much otherwise. And images, try to add one image after every 300 words. I try to do this. And storytelling, try to storytell, but don't get lost in your own story. And at the end, don't forget to add a call to action. A call to action is a very simple thing, like anything you want your users to do. It can be as simple as telling them to contact you in the case they need any assistance, or as simple as to subscribe to your mailing list, or something like anything like or maybe asking them a question like what are your views on it, and so on. So yes, now let's take the questions. So hey Madhav, for my first blog I got 150 plus reads, and the second blog 100 plus, even after sharing a link. Is that a good start? Yes, definitely, that's a very very good start. In my case, I mean, I just got lucky that my first blog reached around more than 10,000 readers within a single week. But yes, it was purely luck. And I figured out how to do that with every blog gradually, not immediately. So, yes, that's a very good start. And I'm going to tell you the ways you can improve it in the next section as well. Do we need to have Medium memberships? I mean, do we need to have subscription to write our blog? No, it's completely free. Writing is completely free. You can just go to Medium and create your account and just start writing. It's as simple as that. What's the difference between an article and a blog? That's a very good question. So generally, basically, what happens is a blog is something, those two terms are often used interchangeably very much. And as I mean, if you're just talking about informally, there's no as such, there's no big difference. But generally we use the term article for a more sort of thing, more a content which provides, you can say, which is I'm not sure how to put it in words, but yes, okay. So an article can be something like a more research oriented or something like that. But yes, don't worry about that. It's very often used interchangeably. Even on LinkedIn we write blog only but call it as a LinkedIn article. So yeah, you can do that. And Srinivas just asked me, can you please share templates on how we'll write your own blog? You can just go to my Medium blog, right? You can just go to Madhav Behl, the medium.com/@madhavbehl10, and just see any of my blogs and try to see the structure in which I write. I generally follow this one. I'm going to discuss in the next section. Let's not steal the fun from that. How is Quora as a platform? It's very good, and I've heard that they pay as well, but I haven't tried it because I generally prefer limiting myself to three platforms, and more than that, it becomes very difficult to handle because I do it alone. It's something which I do as a hobby. Let's say if you are doing it as a profession, then you might even create a team and you might hire some people for content creation and marketing. But yes. Otherwise, if you're doing it just as a hobby and you are alone, try to focus on three platforms at max. For me, that's Instagram, Medium, LinkedIn, and sometimes on Twitter. So yes, I'm not very much sure about Quora, but yes, I've heard that Quora has a great reach. Plus, Quora pays their top writers as well. So yes, definitely. Okay, and then again, frequency and length. So this was the first thing. Was, let me recap it very quickly. Deciding what kind of content you are going to write, then deciding what should be the title of your content, then how to structure your content. Now once you have written the blog, now comes the point, what should be the length, right? So the length is something depending completely on you. It is often basically found that long blog posts are very good for search engine optimization and all those things, but short blogs perform very well on let's say whenever you, like, let's say, post it on LinkedIn or something like that, cross platform publicity. So yes, but the basic disadvantage with long, very huge blog post is that if your blog post is very long, then people might not even read it. So just imagine that your readers only have 3 to 6 minutes to read it, and try to write your point within 3 to 6 minutes, right? So 1,000 words is, for me, like, I try to keep my content within 1,000 to 1,500 words, and that's, I think, an optimal word count. So how frequency? So this particular thing, frequency, I try to see my blog post as a recurring event in my calendar. This might seem something weird, like recurring event is generally meant for meetings and so on, but yes, I do keep it for my blogs as well. Basically, you might have seen me, like, generally I post on LinkedIn every evening or every morning, and on Medium I try to post one blog every Sunday. So that's how I try to be consistent. So more important, this frequency can be completely dependent on you. Maybe you can write, if you are have enough time, you can write a blog daily just like Sinem does. Or if you don't have time, try to the maximum, I can tell you the upper bound, try to write at least one blog in every 14 days. That should be the upper bound. But lower bound, you can write as many times as you can, but try to have a sort of frequency, like try to write. For me, like, you must have noticed, I post a lot, like on LinkedIn I either post around 11 a.m. or 6 p.m. So I generally do that so that people know that this is the time I post, and they know that his content is going to be out there. So just imagine, let's say, just imagine a simple example. You guys watch some a particular series, TV series, on maybe, let's say, any particular channel, but suddenly one day they don't show that don't show the episode. It happens, right? It happens very rarely, but it happens. It has happened, and that day you might be very annoyed that, oh, I was waiting for this and it didn't show up. So that's the same thing with your blogs as well. So try to have a fixed time for your blogging and so on. Then dealing with criticism, it's very important. And you are going to get criticism very often, and that happens because one thing is, people are just advising you to be better. That's a good thing, that's very important for you to grow. And the second thing is, some people just get, I don't know why, it happens with everyone. They might be jealous of you, or they might be jealous of the fact that they might be envious of the fact that they are not doing anything and he is doing. So the reason might be anything, so they will criticize you, and that will be completely illogical. You will also feel that, what is this guy writing? It's nowhere even related to my content and he's still writing. So how to deal these two cases? First thing is, whenever you get criticism, any sort of criticism, first thing is, just close your eyes and appreciate yourself that you did something which many people are not doing out there. Appreciate yourself that publishing content on a general audience platform takes a lot of courage. I do agree with this. It takes a lot of courage, right? So just appreciate yourself whenever you get any criticism. Once you are done with it, and keep in mind that you are doing something which 99% of the people are not doing, and you are going to stand out. Now think, was it your fault? If it was your fault, then how can you improve? Because you might find that in 50% of the cases it might be your fault. In 50% of the cases it might not be your fault. So if it is your fault, or if there is any scope of improvement, just accept it and think how can you improve. If it's not, have a thick skin. Trust me, have a thick skin. You are going to receive many illogical comments as well, but that does not matter, and that should not matter, because that just shows how sick minded that particular person is. And if it's so, then try to keep him at a little bit distance, because he is just sick minded and you don't want to engage with him a lot. Maybe just unfriend him, or maybe just do anything like remove the connection on LinkedIn or anything. But yes, do know the difference between a constructive criticism and a useless criticism. Try to get as many constructive criticism as you can, because without constructive criticism you cannot grow. But if it's a useless criticism, try to make a distance with that particular person. Now comes the unspoken rules, and this is the best part. And I'm going to take 30 seconds break to drink a water, and I'll be back in just a second. So guys, I'm back. So now comes the unspoken rules. So this is the second last section for today, and I know I have again crossed my finishing time. But yes, people who are still there, trust me, this is going to help you a lot. So the five unspoken rules of writing a successful blog. So till now we discussed how can you write 5 steps to be 5 steps in which you can take to write a successful blog post. And those were in the order of writing the blog post. First thing, what kind of blog post you should write. Second thing, how should you I mean what should be the title of your blog post. Third thing, how should you structure your content. Fourth thing, which is what should be the frequency and length of your blog post. And fifth thing is how to deal with criticism. Now comes the unspoken rule. What differentiates you from the regular bloggers? A lot of people blog. Trust me, a lot of people, and you might have seen as well, right? You might come across so many blogs on LinkedIn, Instagram, and so on. But there are these five particular things which sets apart a top blogger and a normal blogger. Before that, again, uh, let me see what are the questions on the chat window. Would it be okay if I asked you, how do you relate writing blogs as a habit, and in turn their effects on your daily lives and thoughts? Um, Writing blogs as a habit. So, and how in turn they affect your daily life and your thoughts. So basically, I couldn't really get your exact question, but okay, the thing is, I just try to write the personal experiences which I have. Let's say if I write a technical blog, I would write something which I have already, which I'm a good at, or which I'm learning. So that's already a part of my life, right? So, and let's say if I write a self-help blog, I write about things which I already am trying to follow or have been following from a long time. So they don't affect my thoughts because they are already my thoughts. So I couldn't get your question, but yeah. All right. So now comes the five unspoken rule. The first thing is make your blog speak for you. So very interesting. Like what should so I think that today's blog was lacking the engagement. So I would just ask you guys what this particular thing means. What your blog should speak. What am I trying to say here? Any like any guess, any random guess on what does it mean that your blog should be speaking? Anything? Just write on the chat section. I see there's a lot of lag today between the StreamYard and the actual live stream which is going on. So I think the real time communication today might be difficult. It might be some problem with the servers of StreamYard. I'm not sure why is that happening, but I felt a lot of technical issues today. So yes, Hansraj just said the real things about you, I guess. Yes. Your presence in the blog, definitely. You can imagine the person is speaking. Yes. And your blogs need to clarify the author, your intentions. That's also true. What you want to say, the feeling should come. That's also true. But let me combine this and say it in a very simple way. So basically, what does it mean when I say that your blog should speak? Basically, you should have a voice of your own. Whenever I speak to you, you must have noticed it, right? You can definitely, you can clearly understand when I am speaking to you. Similar thing should be with your writing. Whenever you read a piece of content, you should be very the person should automatically get to know that this blog has been written by Madhav. And you guys already know it. Like when I write on LinkedIn, I try to structure my content with some emojis like this right hand emoji, or maybe the pin emoji or some things like that. And whenever I write blogs, I have that particular let me just open it. I have this particular the cover. I try to have the cover very similar way, in a very similar way. Like here at the top I would write the lean programmer, here I would write subscribe, and then I would write this, and then I would start off with a story. After that story I would jump onto the steps, and after the steps I would give some sort of some advice or some tips and tricks. So you already know, if you guys are shown some sort of content, you will know that I am speaking through it. So yes, what does it mean to have your own voice? So your blog should have a voice of its own, so that people can understand it. Second thing is, fill them up with energy, but don't shout. Basically, your blogs should be written in such a way, like some people, that's not a hard and fast rule, and some people do prefer writing in a very formal manner. But I believe blogs, that's the difference again between blogs and articles. So blogs, I think, can be written in a slightly informal manner, where you can just where you can interact with your user, with your attendees, I mean with your viewers, and with your readers. So try to fill them up with energy, try to have some encouraging words in that, and try to have some, again, coming to the having a voice part. So you can just have something like this, in sort let me take an example. Let's say this particular example again. Your time is divided into three zones. I try to write some things like this, like whenever I write a sort of point, I would say after that, hey mother, what's wrong in that? And I try to talk with myself. That's something unique about my blogs, and it can be something unique about your blogs. But yes, something, just like you have your own way of speaking, you should have your own way of writing, and that will come only after you write a couple of blogs, you write a few blogs. So yes, just keep reading a lot of, read my blogs, read Sinem's blog, read Brianna Waste, read from, there are a lot of top bloggers, read their blogs and try to see what is their particular writing style, and try to see what kind of writing style works. Let's say my kind of the writing style which I adopted, which I showed you, it was talking to myself after writing that particular headings. So that worked a lot for me, and that the readers find that very engaging. And after that I would add some funny gifs to it, like this particular gif. So it depends on you, what, how do you structure your content. But yes, try to follow all these strategies. And this is the difference between copying and taking inspiration. So I would not feel bad if you try to take inspiration from this and try to write a similar kind of art, I mean try to write similarly. Like, let's say it can have a heading, and then you can talk to yourself, and then you can have a gif. But uh, but I would definitely feel bad if you directly copy and paste the content. So yes, try to find what, as Sinam said, try to find what works for them, and try to start incorporating in your content, and see whether it works for you or not. If it doesn't matter, if I mean, some things which work for them might not work for you, and that's the same case with opposite as well. So yes, try to find your own way of writing. And then, very very important, don't fake it until you make it. Because the thing is, when you fake it, it's clearly visible. Whenever you try to build something up, whenever you try to make something up, it's clearly visible in the style you write or in the style you speak. So yes, be yourself, don't fake it. Take inspiration but not copy. Stay truthful, check accuracy, and be inclusive. Try not to offend someone from your blogs. Then again, show your sources. This is very definitely very important. Try to give credits. Try to write things like this, I was inspired by this particular piece of content. Or as like Ananya is there watching this webinar, I just really like it when she mentions that she was inspired by my webinar. Because that's good for the person who writes, and the person who wrote it initially. Why? It's good for you and it's good for them. How it's good for you? Basically, whenever you credit someone, it will reach them, and they might also share it. So it will increase your reach, the reach of your blog post. Plus, people will get to know about you. Plus, people will know that originally that particular piece of, let's say if you write about React Native, and maybe I can say that I was inspired to do this project by this particular blog post, and then people will come to know about that blog post as well. So it's good for you as well, and it's good for them as well. So always show your sources. Don't sell, don't spam a lot. Instead, try to provide value. That will be a promotion in itself. You might have seen a lot of people just sharing, and those posters in, like, it happened a lot in my college, and I used to hate it. Like, in whenever we had any event, they would tell us that the clubs and chapters, they would definitely tell us to join all those groups, Facebook groups, and try to mindlessly spam them. That's a very bad content strategy, and that will be very bad for your brand in the long term. Don't just sell, provide value. Like, try to have, if you write 10, if you publish 10 pieces of content a week, 9 should be adding the value to your readers, and then one can be, after every 9 posts, one post can be very 100% promotional, like I'm going to do this, or this event is coming soon. So yes, try to focus more on providing value instead of just baseless promotions. So these were the 5 things which differentiates a normal blogger from a top blogger. First thing, your blog should speak for you. You should have your own voice. It should be unique. Your writing style should be unique to you. Then fill them up with energy. Try to have a blog written in a manner that makes reader more attracted to the blog. Don't fake it till you make it. Show your sources, and don't sell. But even after you do that, now here's the final section for today. Even after you do that, probably you might fail. Why? Because just writing blog is not enough. Uh, as you might have seen, I've attached a screenshot. I've even posted this thing to my LinkedIn account today as well. Basically, this was one of my blogs, one of my recent blogs, which got in total 1,43,000 views. But the most funny thing was the internal views, which came from Medium, were only 2,400, but the external views were 1,41,000. It was 98%. So yes, the thing is, if you only write blogs, it's not going to reach people, even though the content might be very very amazing. What's the point if it's not reaching your audience? So first thing you can do is become Google worthy. Try to add keywords, one or two or three, or more than at least 5 keywords, maybe, like, I mean, at most 5 keywords in your meta. Like, if you are, let's say, if you're writing blogs on Medium, try to have those keywords in the keyword section. They already have a section for keywords. while publishing. Otherwise, you can include some keywords in the title as well. Maybe like topic which you think people would search. Let's say if people are searching a lot about, let's take a very simple example, software. Let's say software development practices, and let's say agile model. Just try to use that agile in your title. Use those keywords in your title as well, and your subtitle as well. If you don't write on Medium, and if you have your own blog, try to have full metadata, like the description, the keywords, and so on. And then again, try to add a topic which people would want to search, but don't make it a clickbait. Make sure that you are providing the value to your readers as well. Have your website even though even if no one opens it, it's good to have your website. It builds again your credibility and brand. Third thing is mailing list. It's super important uh, to have a mailing list, because again, as I showed, the internal views were only 2,400 and the external views were 1,41,000. That's some huge difference, right? So I have my own mailing list in which there are thousands of people, and I can just whenever I publish a blog, I can just mail them, and if they're interested, they can see it. So mailing list. But the most important thing is, don't limit yourself to one platform. If you are doing the same thing, might happen to you which happened to TikTokers. Like, suddenly the government banned TikTok and they were left with nothing. So yes, don't limit yourself. Always have this habit of cross platform sharing. So let me tell with you my content strategy, which I used to follow for a very long time. What I used to do was, like, I don't follow this one right now, but I used to follow it earlier. What I used to do was, I just wrote one big blog post every weekend, and I used to cut it down to into pieces. I used to write, let's say, 10 pieces of advice you should follow, or maybe the example which I took right now, right? 10 pieces of advice for Generation Z and young adults. So I would write it in the weekend, and I would take a part of it, let's say, get rid of toxic friendship, and I would post it on LinkedIn, or maybe I would post it on Instagram. But do not copy paste exactly, because every platform has supports different kind of content. Instagram is more famous for photos, LinkedIn is more famous for content that adds value, Medium is more famous for, again, content. So yes, every platform has its own essence. Try to add that particular essence in the platform in which you are sharing. So let's say if you have already written in weekends, you write one big blog post, and then you are cutting the pieces out of it and posting it to other platforms. Don't just copy and paste exactly. Let's say, foster your friendship. Let's say this particular thing, you are going, you have posted this particular post on Medium on weekend, and now you are taking the advices, individual advice from it, and posting it on other social media platform. For LinkedIn, you can maybe pick up some text from here and write some more text and post it. For Instagram, maybe you can make an infographic or something, for, let's say, there where there can be some people standing and there can be a handshake or something, and just try to have an infographic sort of thing instead of textual content. So yes, try to have at least your presence in two platforms. For me, it's three: Medium, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and sometimes Twitter. But yes, for you, it should be at least two. Then create, engage, and help. It's all about creating a family. It's not about creating your presence. It's about creating value of your presence in other people's life. So whenever you create content, engage with that content, engage with other people's content, and help others. Whenever, like, I try my best, like, even in this particular webinar, I tried to call Sinem, and she helped a lot, helped you guys. So yes, keep this mindset that you have to add value to people's life. And that's it. So those were some of the things. First thing is, become Google worthy. Second thing is, have your own website. Third thing is, have a mailing list. Fourth thing is, do not limit yourself to one platform. And fifth, and the most important thing is, create, engage, and help. Consistently create, consistently engage, and consistently help. So that's it for today, guys. And I know it went a lot, and it's again 1 hour 30 minutes. But yes, So next time I promise I'll be on time. I mean, I won't extend it from 1 hour, but yeah, I'm so sorry for today. And here's my small challenge for you guys: 50 days, 50 posts. I mean, if you guys want to take it, just post it using that hashtag myclimb or hashtag the lean programmer or hashtag the lean talks, and do tag me. What you have to do is one LinkedIn post every day about what you learned from Monday to Saturday, and on Sunday try to release a blog, maybe any blog on any particular topic. So yes, very simple: a blog on Sunday, and topics, a small contents in the form of LinkedIn posts every weekday, Monday to Saturday. Let me know if you are up for this challenge. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot. If you guys have any questions, I'm still here for 5 more minutes. You can just ask it. Also, guys, I have one request for you. Do let me know. I mean, now, what topic would you like me to speak on for the next webinar? Like, you can just keep go to this website madhavbahel.tech/suggest, and I would definitely love to go to on the topic with topics which you have suggested. All right, so I see a few questions. No question. Thanks a lot, Ananya. And yes, do fill in. I mean, just go to this website madhavbahel.tech/suggest, and I would love it if you guys can just I mean, tell me which topic I should speak on next, because I'm planning to go according to you instead of my topics. So, yes, if you guys want, you can just go through this form. It's just name, email, and the topic you want to me suggest, and that's it, guys. I'm still here for 1 more minute. If you have any question. Okay, I think there's no question. So, bye bye. See you next week. Thanks a lot for attending.